Alright, so for today, I'm gonna take a look at this new bike case, just arrived yesterday. And yeah, we're gonna try to pack our bike for the first time ever. So the brand is called Nooyah. This is the BK002. You won't see a lot of videos or articles on the net about this case or reviews. I don't think it's that popular yet, but you know, it's a little cheap compared to others. It has a semi hard case material, and I've gotten some very good informal reviews about the product from other people who've used it. So yeah, let's check it out. So just a little bit of a background before I actually take apart my bike and put it in. So yeah, like I said, this is the first time I'm packing the bike ever. It's the first time I'm bringing my bike overseas. It's also the first overseas event that I'm joining. All right. So you're gonna see the bike and what I have on as gear, but for the most part, I want this video to focus on the case for now. Maybe in a later video, I can show you a rig rundown, what I have, the bags, and parts of my bicycle. Yeah, or the event. The event is that I'm joining is the Brest Paris, 1,200 kilometer ride from Paris to Brest and then back. It's the oldest cycling event ever, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're joining that in August. It's currently June. We begin our training block this week, last minute training block. But yeah, so we're gonna practice packing. So this is gonna be the first time, like I said, I'm gonna time myself just to see, approximately how long it will take to pack, right? So the one complication that I can see is that we have a lot of bags, right, on the bike. So because it's a 1,200 kilometer unsupported ride, so we need to bring a lot of food, equipment, especially clothes for the cold weather. Because I'm used to the tropics, I normally just have my kit on and that's it. But now it's my first time joining an event with the weather, dipping below 20 even, right? So I have some jackets there, some headgear, leg warmers, and overshoes and so on, right? So we're not gonna focus on that, but yeah, that's the bike. I'm gonna try to fit it in here. I'm gonna time it. I don't know how to take the video yet. I don't think it makes sense for me to take a video of myself the whole time while I'm doing it, so I'm probably just gonna take snippets of the main things that I need to do on the bike before I put them here. Yeah, so let's get started. Alright, so I'm gonna take you through some basic features of this new bike case. So it has a combination lock here, TSA. You have your straps, there's 3 of them, right? And then one here in the rear. There are these molds, I don't know what to call them, but yeah, you can use them to sort of carry, right, the rear end. And on the front end, you have this detachable handle, right? So it goes via just this. So when you need to open the bike, you need to take it out for a while, or even maybe you should bring this with you and carry on so that it doesn't get damaged while the bike is checked in with all the other cargo. It has wheels underneath, obviously, so the rear wheels are just straight, they go backward and forward, but the ones in front, they can pivot, right? So that's really convenient when you need to change directions while walking in the airport. So let's go ahead and open this bag so you can see what's inside. Alright, so by the way, before I open that, I'm just going to show you the tools that I'm going to use for unpacking the bike. So I have a set of Allen wrenches, 2 options, and also I have, well, not this one, but this one, just in case I need to remove the disc rotors. This is a bottom bracket / center lock remover, because I'm not sure if the case has enough protection inside for the disc rotors, right? There's one video on YouTube I see demoing a bike being packed in this case, and that bike is a rim brake bike. So we've yet to see how the protection inside the case will protect the disc rotors, prevent them from being damaged or bent, right, during transfer. So if they don't offer adequate protection, then we'll need to remove the disc rotors and store them elsewhere so that they don't get damaged. Yep, so let's go ahead and open this up. Just gonna let that drop there. All right. Okay, nice. All right, so here you see there's a wheel case, right? And it looks like it has what do you call these, straps fixed to the bottom of the case to hold the wheel in place, right? Let me just take this out, see what's inside there. So there, if you can see, if we place the disc rotor flush facing down here, then that doesn't offer much protection against the disc rotor. In fact, it's the opposite. If I put some pressure on the disc rotor going down, which is probably what will happen in the cargo, right, or in baggage handling, that's gonna bend your rotors a lot, right? So this is what the wheel looks like. It has like flaps around it, and then that's where you put your tire. All right, so we have a huge foam here, and there's two of them, right? So I'm guessing the frame goes in between the two foams, separating them from both wheels, right? So you have one wheel on either side of the case. Some accessories here. So I've already opened this. This is not an unboxing video, so I know what's inside already. But yeah, we have like a case here for placing your items. Maybe the rotors can go on in here, maybe, not sure, because this is also probably where the pedals will go, and some of the tools and small items that we want to store, right? So that's where they're gonna go, so that they don't go flying all over the case during transfer, and also so that they don't damage the frame of the bike by moving around, especially if the parts are metal or anything hard, right? So it's pretty much the same deal here. With the wheels, you have four sort of foam. You can wrap these around the top tube and I think the down tube. You don't need to protect the seat tube, because the seat tube is sort of the one in the middle here, right? So you just put this here, here, and I think here, because those are the areas that are susceptible to damage during transfer. So I guess the short ones here go on the chain stays, and then these two probably one each for the down tube and the top tube. So we'll see, because I do have a bottle cage over there, if you can see that bottle cage over there, which might block the foam from being used in the down tube. Maybe we'll need to cut the foam a little bit just to make it fit, right? All right, so let's get cracking. It's time to disassemble the bike. And from what I've seen in the videos, there are a few things that we need to do. First one is to remove the pedals, right? So that's pretty easy, standard. And then the next one is to loosen the stem bolts, top cap, and remove the stem from the fork, right? So that the handlebar and everything there can sort of fold towards the side. I don't know yet if I can get away with leaving my bag connected to the handlebar, to the aero bars, or even leaving the aero bars intact, right? I don't know if there's enough space here to contain the handlebar with the aero bars, but worst case, we remove the aero bars, right? And we just need Allen wrenches for that, and a torque wrench, of course. And then finally, after that, of course, we remove the wheels, and then we put where are those? Then we put these spacers, right? So I put these spacers in between the disc brake calipers to prevent them from accidentally being squeezed, because these are hydraulic ones, right? So you don't want to squeeze your hydraulic calipers while there is no rotor in between, because that will, you know, push the pistons and the brake pads together, and you know, you won't be able to put your disc brakes, your rotors back when you reinstall your wheel. So make sure to have a spacer. If you don't have this specific spacer, this is normally what comes when you buy a group set brand new. This is already installed as a spacer with the caliper. So I just, you know, when I had the bike built, I just made sure to ask for these to take them home. Normally they lie around in the bike shop, they throw it away, or they have it in a big container or whatever. If you don't have this, piece of cardboard also works, piece of paper that you fold enough times in order to sort of mimic the thickness that you'll need to put in between your disc caliper. So you'll be sure to put two of these, one at the back, one in the front. Remove the wheels. On the flight, you also need to deflate the wheels, the tires, so that you don't have, you know, problems with the pressure in the not the cabin but in the cargo. So I'm not going to do that today because we're just testing the packing, right? So I don't want to deflate the tires at this point. But yeah, what else? So the seat post also, I made some measurements. It looks like I don't need to remove the seat post. I think at the worst it just needs to go all the way down. So I'm going to loosen the bolt here and then push the seat post all the way down, if you know, if it fits inside, however it fits, and as much as I can fit in, we'll see if that reduction in height is enough to fit into the bike. If it's not, then we need to take the seat post out and, you know, store it differently. Okay, so yeah, I better get cracking. I'm gonna time myself, and the next part of the video you already see the bike unpacked, because, you know, you don't need to see that. There are plenty of videos about how to remove the pedals and loosen the balls and everything that I just talked about. So yeah, I'll be right with you. All right, so I paused for a while just to show you something in the middle of the process, right? So here's the bike. We have removed the pedals, we have removed the cockpit, right, along with the stem. We've removed the wheel sets, obviously, and we've installed our little spacers there and there. So one important thing to note is included in the package are some sort of fork and through axle. Well, not through axle, but they're spacers. Basically, you know, you put one in the fork and one in the frame, so that the, you know, where your wheel set normally goes has something to keep the space, right? But I don't think these will work. I think these were designed for quick release, right? But my fork is a hole. It's a through axle, right? So what I'm gonna do, instead of having these, is I'm gonna try and just have the through axles installed there and there. I'm not sure if that's going to help a lot with the protection of the frame from being compressed when, you know, if weight presses the fork together or the frame together at the rear. I don't think it will, right? Because the frame will just go right through. So I'm just going to put this there for storage purposes, but I need to do something about the compression risk, right? So what I'll probably do is I'm gonna put this here, I'm gonna put this back and screw that in part way, right? Not too tight, because there's nothing in between to hold it back, just enough to make sure that it doesn't fall out, you know. So just a little bit of a tread there, so nothing too tight, right? And then what I've seen someone else do, it was a different bike case, but it's probably a useful tip, is that person wraps some hard cardboard around the through axle here, and then tapes it around, right? So that creates sort of like a barrier in between the fork and also the dropouts, right? so that whenever there's pressure, for example, from the bike, being mishandled or stacked with other luggage, if this gets compressed, you have at least that thing that can be in there to protect, right, the fork from breaking or the seat stays, right. This is a titanium bike, by the way, so it's very durable. I don't think it'll happen, right. I don't think you can compress this enough to actually break it, maybe bend it a little bit, but just to be on the safe side, we're gonna do that, right. So yeah, onward we resume. All right, so I did a quick pause again, 11.5, because I just wanted to show you this the wheel cover. It looks pretty nice, right? And then it has the holes here where the straps can go, right? And if you can see the indentation against the side of the case, the one is deeper than the other, right? So if you can, I don't know if you can see the difference there. Yeah, but one is shallower, so I'm assuming the deeper one is probably where my cassette goes, right? So if you can also see the rotor there, I tried packing it in with the rotor without removing the rotor yet, like what I said earlier, right? And it looks like it looks pretty secure, right? I'm gonna try packing this in with the frame, and I'm gonna see if there are any impact points, right? But as far as pressure from this other side is concerned, if I press on this flatly, I just press on sort of the hub there. It's not touching the rotors. If I press on it, with sort of like a sharp, not sharp, but if it hits not flat, right, which might be what happens depending on the orientation with the frame, then it can hit the rotor and potentially bend the rotor a little bit, right? So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt for now. I'm gonna leave it as it is with the rotors like this, right? And I'm gonna see when we have it installed later if there is any chance that the frame in between the two sets, the wheel sets, has a chance to press on the rotors in this way. I don't think so, because you have straps here to hold the wheel in place, you have straps to hold the frame in place, right? So supposedly there should be no way. It should just be space here, assuming the frame is sort of around, right? So we'll see. I'm gonna leave it as is for now, and then I'm gonna continue. Onward! Alright, paused again. So the good news is, if I put the seat post all the way down, it doesn't hit the balls here, so that's good. And it fits, right? It fits the bike. The bad news is, well, I think the derailleur probably needs to be removed. I mean, if I'm gonna be strict about it, I can probably pack it, like this. But, well, actually, it's probably, not. Yeah, it's in there. So if I close this is gonna go over this, and it should protect the derailleur. There's nothing here for it to hit against, right? So there's just foam. So I don't think I need to remove the derailleur. But from what you can see here, there's pressure on the wheel case, right? So this, it's not that heavy, the frame, but remember we were looking, this is how it's gonna look underneath that. We were looking at the pressure or the weight, right? Of course, if it's standing, there's no weight, right, against it, but the frame might be pressing down against the case, like that. So I'm not sure if maybe the water bottle or this frame or which part here is gonna hit the rotor, which is probably somewhere here, right? So it's probably a good idea just to remove the rotors to be on the safe side. For this one, maybe it's going to be the same case, because that's just gonna close on top of this one, and it's gonna be two sides. Now I know if it's standing up, which is how it's gonna be when I lug it around the airport, there's gonna be no pressure, right? But I don't know in the airline, in the airport, when I check it in, I don't know if they're gonna stack it sideways, right? So hopefully they don't, but in the event that they do, I need to make sure that the bike and everything in the case can withstand, right? So I'm not going to take the risk of not removing the rotors. So I paused the timer. I'm currently at 19 minutes, right? I paused it. I'm going to remove the rotor, right, just to see the actual time, right? And then I'm going to store the rotor somewhere else. Now here's one more thing. As you can see, my whole cockpit is not going to fit in there as it is, right? So I'm probably going to need to take it apart. And by take it apart, I just mean removing the aero bars, right? So I have aero bars on there, and also, of course, removing the bag. You know, I tried to get away with having the bags. See, some of the other frame bags and the top tube bag are still there. I tried to get away with having as much of my bags intact as possible, so that when I put it back together, it'll be easier and faster. But no, it looks like I really need to remove the bags. I already removed my saddle bag there, so that's the big thing that were there. I'm gonna remove this front thing, this front bag. I'm gonna remove the aero bars to make it a little bit more flat. And you know, I think the frame bag and the top tube bag, they can stay. But yeah, once I disassemble that, hopefully the handlebars can, you know, fall flush over the frame, and then I just need to put the aero bars and the bag elsewhere, right? Okay, so let's get cracking. I'm gonna resume the timer just to remove the rotors. All right, 30 minutes and counting. I'm just gonna pause it for a while. And yeah, so you can see we remove the aero bars and the bag and the rotors. We put this protective thing that came in with the case, right? So it protects your seat stay. No, this is the chain stay and your crank and chain ring, right? So it has a lot of built-in straps that you can fasten, right, to make sure that the bike stays in place. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So strap it in, make sure it doesn't shake around inside. I was able to leave the top tube bag and the small frame bag intact and installed, so that's a good thing. Also, all bottles, including my tool bottle, are still, you know, in their cases, in their cages. So even some of the lights are still on there. I had to take out pads and aero bars here, and also a cycling bell that I needed to take out. So as you can see, the mounts of the aero bars are still here. So because this is the most difficult thing to install and get right, so I just removed the bars themselves. It will be easy to sort of you know, have them, insert them once the bike is going to be built on later. And yes, so now I just need to look for a way to make sure that this doesn't get compressed. Although, because it's oriented sideways, it doesn't look like it will be, the fork. So here you see some flex there. It doesn't protect, right? So I need some sort of cardboard or some sort of solid thing wrapped here, so that when this gets compressed, you know, at least I'll have some resistance rather than just having it like this. No resistance at all, right? So, and I need to do the same thing for the rear wheel dropouts, right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pause it because technically, if I find something, I can reuse it all the time, right? So I just need to make one now, one time, which takes some time and doesn't really count into the overall time to pack my bike. But yeah, once I have that, I just use it over and over again. Maybe just tape and cut the tape it again when I need to pack. So I need to probably bring one reel of tape with me and scissors. So yeah, now another thing I'm not sure about is where to put the rotors. So as you know, rotors are very delicate. They can be easily bent, right? It's both weight, pressure, and also impact that can, you know, bend them. So I'm gonna try to look for some sort of like a cardboard flap where you can put them in. Just put little bit more protection, right? But other than that, I think, you know, we're almost done. All right, so we're pretty much almost finished. I'm gonna pause at 35 because I'm gonna talk. So yeah, it is pretty much all there. So as you can see here, I put the cardboard thing. It sort of holds it in place. I didn't put a tape, but this is on pretty tight, so this is good. I cut another one for the fork, but I cut too much, as you can see, you know. So it's a little loose, right? There's a little gap in between there, which I think should be fine. I didn't tape it anymore because you know, this is just a test run. Yeah, I could tape it if I wanted to, but I'm gonna put the bike back together anyway, maybe tomorrow or something, once I have more time. And I'm gonna time that as well. So this one came up to around 35. As you can see, I have here everything that I need, right? All the bags were here. They're not necessarily attached to the bike anymore, but you can see the saddle bag fits actually perfectly in the rear triangle there, so that's kind of cool. This pouch right here has all the tools that I need: torque wrench, Allen wrenches, screwdriver. I think the pedals are also there, as well as the aero pads of my aero bars. This is the front bag. It's just there. I hope it's not too fat that the bike doesn't close, so I'm gonna try to close it. Hopefully it works. The RD is also sticking out a little bit there, so maybe, you know, I need to move the bike a little bit, or I don't know if I need to remove the rear derailleur. Hopefully not. My helmet is here, shoes are there. The rotors, I didn't find anything to protect the rotor, so what I did was I just used this Velcro strap. It came with the bike. It has a few extra straps in the pouch. I just put it on there, right? So it's gonna, you know, because hopefully it's not gonna, what do you call this, swing down too much, right? I didn't strap that too tight, and I put sort of like a layer of foam in between the two rotors so that they don't touch each other. But I'm hoping when I close this, right, you know, it just stays there sort of suspended, right? It's not really touching anything but the foam, so I hope that stays true. That's the way I plan to do it going forward. The noodles, I think you can get generic ones, but I tried to adjust this earlier today, you know, just pull it to be more aligned, better aligned, but it tore. So yeah, I need to get some replacement foam noodles protectors. And that's it. I have, you know, the stuff I have inside the helmet, making use of the additional space inside the helmet. I have the shades there, gloves, and yeah, I think 2 pairs of gloves, one for hot, one for cold weather. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Aero bars are here. One is here and the other one is here. Made sure that, you know, there's a foam in between that. It looks like it's not going to move too much. Well, it's probably going to hit a little bit. So I need to find somewhere else to put this aero bar so that it doesn't hit. Or I need to lift the whole thing to adjust. The other aero bar is here with my Garmin. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to close the bag now. And we're going to see how much it weighs approximately. And there you have it. 35 or so minutes, maybe 40 minutes or so. And it's ready, right? So now to weigh the thing. I don't know how to weigh the thing because it's hard to sort of use a luggage scale to carry the whole thing. It's too heavy. What I'll probably do is I'm gonna weigh myself with and without the case and just do a subtraction, right? Okay, so we're done packing the bike. It's ready. I don't hear anything moving inside, so maybe, you know, the foam does a good job of compressing everything together. But yeah, the total weight comes down to around 30 kilograms, right? So I don't know if that will comply with the luggage requirements, right? I think my luggage is 2 pieces of 23 kilos each. I don't know if they'll let me, just have one piece and have 30 kilos. So it's technically under the weight limit of, 46 combined kilograms for my luggage. But I don't know how strict they are because they said 23 kilos max per piece, right? So I don't know if, worst case, I need to purchase additional weight, right? So it's going to be expensive, but it comes with traveling with your bike. So 30 kilos is not bad because I weighed my bike before I packed it in, and it's somewhere around 17 kilograms. That means the case itself, plus my shoes, the helmet, the tools, is 13 kilograms, right? So it says it's 9 kilograms without anything inside. So the stuff is 4, and then the bike is 17 with all the luggage. So 30 kilograms. It's not too bad. If I flew business class, I would have a 50 kilogram limit for, each luggage, I think, or something like that. I'm flying economy though. So yeah, I'm hoping they let me check this in, and then I just have everything else with me, carried on, or maybe checked in as well in a second piece that shouldn't exceed the 46. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, summary is that the case is so far so good. It was easy, relatively easy. 35 minutes is not too bad, unpacking the bike, right? So just a summary: I removed the pedals, removed the aero bars, removed the bags, front and saddle bags. Top tube and frame bags were okay to keep in there. Pedals, of course, the tires, rotors. I removed the rotors as well, just to make sure that they don't get bent or damaged. What else? And then you need to put the true axles with some support. I just used cardboard. I'm sure there's something out there that really serves that purpose, but I haven't been able to see a product yet. I'll probably look for it, but for now this will do. What else? So I think that's pretty much it. I didn't deflate the tires, like I said, so no issues. It fit the sleeve and it fit everything, right? So when I actually do fly out, I need to deflate the tires. I run tube this, right? So I hope it doesn't unseat anything when I inflate them back up. I didn't try to bring a track pump inside. I do have a hand pump which has sort of like the PSI meter. So yeah, pretty much that's it. Time will tell. I'll probably do a video after the flight going and then back. I won't do a video of repacking the bike. I'm gonna time that just for my benefit, but once you've seen this, it should be good enough, at least for the case, right? That's it. So I hope you enjoyed. Comment below if you think I did something wrong, or if I could do something better. If you have tips for me. Like I said, this is the first time I did this, but I did a video anyway. I'm not an expert at all in traveling with my bike. If you have any tips, and I hope you learned something from this. So yeah, see you around.